How's it going there, YouTube? I haven't really had a whole lot of video opportunities this week. Well, there's a couple things I could do, but maybe I took a little break this week from YouTube. But as you guys can see in the back corner there, my son decided he wanted to drive the little Oliver 145 around for me this morning, so we dug that out because it's going to go up to Cookstown here next weekend. But before we go to Cookstown, we have a little job to do in the old 1828 here. I did, in fact, order a new set of carburetor floats for it from Sandhill Carb out of, I believe it's out of Windsor, Minnesota. I'll flip this phone around and we'll get started on some video stuff here. Alrighty, so this is where the floats came from. I do have a business card here as well to show you guys. You guys can pause that and take the information off that. The floats actually came really quickly. I ordered them on a Thursday or Friday and they came in on the following Wednesday. That's them right there. So there's two little blocks that go on a brass arm inside the carburetor. These are actually the same as a John Deere GP. So to take this carburetor off, it's not too difficult. I've done it once before. There's a little light here to show you guys. So the floats are actually back right about here. But in order to take the carb off, there's obviously just the fuel line there in the back. There's two bolts up on the manifold, oops, sorry. Those two bolts there, and then the two bolts on the air intake. Obviously the choke line. And now there's a spring back there that was a real pain in the butt to put back in there. So, I remember when I put this together last summer after I resealed the floats, I actually had the throttle lever up by the gauges there open all the way to be able to set spring pressure down. So it actually works backwards from the way you think it would work. So, I'll get this carburetor off of here and we will dig into it. And I want to actually see if I washed off that gas tank sealer. So let me go at this real quick and we'll get her over on the bench. Okay, and just a few short minutes later, the carburetor's out. All you have to do to access those floats is take these 4 flathead screws out. And I believe that little arm rotates on your idle screw there. I believe. I did do this once before last year, but my memory seems to be getting foggy on some of this stuff, and well, it can only really go together one way. Now, Sandhill does have gasket sets. I found out after I placed my order. So, given on how this comes apart today, which should be okay because I did reuse the old gasket last time, I may be ordering a gasket set for this next time I make an order down there. And I did notice with that Oliver 145 this morning that it was dripping a bit of gas out of the carb too. So I wonder if maybe it's due for a float too. Of course, there's no shut off on that. So need to have a look at it. I actually wondered if the piece of fuel line just dried out where it goes onto the carb and cracked right under the clamp, but kind of don't think so. Yeah, so sorry, I lied to you guys. The floats actually rotate off that little screw there. Sorry, lied to you. I couldn't remember which. I knew they were in this bowl somewhere, but I couldn't remember if it was on that side or that other side. So upon initial inspection, it does look like some of that gas tank sealer did fail. You see how it's all bubbled up here in the bottom now? It's got porosity in it. Anyway, let me get this little nut out of here, and I'll take him out and get a closer look. Also, I forgot to mention, after you pull your idle mixture screw out, or your fuel mixture screw out rather, you got to take this. It's like a metering block, I'm guessing. It's the big flathead screw down in there. I need a smaller screwdriver. That comes out, and then the floats will slide out after that. Don't mind my wife, she's doing some training with her dogs out there. Can never have enough training with an animal, it seems like. All right, that's what we got. Yeah, so that explains a lot. So, see those little pores in there? So these are actually a wood float in this tractor. Of course, the PR15, I dunked these in there last summer, and it's still eating through the floats. So I tried to save them, but you know, sometimes you just can't do it. So anyway, I'll take these apart, and we'll put the new floats on. Try to get you some out of an action shot. There's one, there's two. Pretty warm in the shop today, 76 degrees in the shop. Well, I guess it's probably about 80 outside. Probably better than that. Now, I don't know if I'm going to have to reuse those washers. So these new floats are a nitro float. So they should not dissolve, but we shall see how it goes, I guess. That's all we can do. It's better than what we had anyway. I have heard of issues other guys have had from floats, aftermarket floats, and they have dissolved, but David told me he's never had that issue. He's never had one come back, so hopefully these work out a-okay. I think we'll be just fine. Don't want to go too tight because you could risk cracking them. I did learn of a plow day coming up here kind of soon out in Port Hope, Ontario. I may want to go out to that. Never been down there before. It's about an hour and a half from home. So I might take the Hart-Parr and the plow and the little guy out there, or at the very least the Hart-Parr and my son out there. Although it's nice to have a tractor that starts and runs for you when you want to go out to do these things. Because I'm sure if any of you guys have met me at shows and been trying to start it sometimes, it's rather frustrating when you go through these things and they don't start and they have the same problems they had before. And it's kind of also why I lean towards putting a new set of floats in this one, because just to save yourself the frustration, have it start and go on you when you want it to. Excuse me, when you want it to. So we had the same problem at Corth, and my son was getting kind of tired and ready to go home, and I wanted to start the tractor, load it, and bring it home, and it flooded, and just, it can be a frustrating thing, that's all. Okay, we'll put this back together. It's pretty clean looking inside the carburetor. Of course, I cleaned it out last year and haven't really done a whole heck of a lot with it. There's a little bit of sediment in there. You guys might be able to see that, but not really a whole lot. I should have ordered that gasket set now that I'm in here, but oh well, there's always next time, I guess. Put this in here. Put a little bolt in first. Just a quick word before you go to put these back together, if you're working on one of these Ensign carbs. There's where the float pushes on that needle there to let the gas in. You'll have to spin this casing upside down, so that needle goes up inside that. Or you could take it off, but I remember last time I didn't have to take it off, and that's why I had to stop and look there for a second. But I got those back in there with that little nut back in there. We'll give her a little tighten up here. You don't have to go too tight because it's just a brass. Just a brass screw, so you don't need to go too tight. This little block, I don't think it did very much with it last year. Does look pretty clean though. I do drain my carbs over the winter time, so that seems to help them quite a bit. And I have that old nasty gas sitting in there all winter long, because it seems as though the new age gas only lasts about 30 days before you shouldn't be using it. It starts to gum stuff up. The ethanol gas is hard on the old engines. Alright. Might actually end up making a new bowl gasket here. There's the needle, of course. Needle goes down in there. And this is, of course, your mixture screw. So with this, you screw that down and it lets less gas in. You screw that, you loosen it up and it lets gas out. So once you get it back together, we'll have to give her a little bit of a run and see where it wants the screw to be. And it's even easier to do that when you have it under load, I find anyway. Let me take a little look in my gasket set and see if I've got another one of those. It's actually should be done. Well, I thought I had one of those, but I guess not. So I guess I'm gonna have to give Sandhill another phone call and get a gasket set. They're not overly expensive or anything, but I was really hoping that would hold together. Anyway, we'll see how it acts, and if it really doesn't like it, then we'll get a kit here ASAP. So that's really it for changing carb floats, at least on the 1828 with an ensign. Really not that difficult to do. Now, I did not ask if I was supposed to coat these floats with anything before I put them in there, but being nitro, I don't think I'll have to, but maybe I'll ask Dave next time I'm talking to him on Facebook. Real good guy to deal with. If I ever need any more carb parts, I'll definitely be back for more. I don't have to be too awful tight, but okay. I'll go put this back on the charger and we'll get you guys a crank start. Alright, so this is about 4 days after I shot those other clips, the Carburetor. I did order a gasket set for the Ensign Carb from Sandhill. It showed up today. Put the new bowl gasket in, as you guys can see that. Now you have no more leaks. And I was kind of in a hurry tonight because I had to go up to the Cookstown Showgrounds and take a couple things up there already. But that's another video. I just kind of dialed it in quick, had it running, started up on 3 poles of the crank. So hopefully that solved your little issue. I did get those gaskets from Sandhill Carb as well. I guess I pretty much finished off this video. I gotta get those up for you guys. I am behind on my videos by a couple days. So if you guys like what you see, as always, just comment, rate, subscribe. Don't forget about that giveaway we've got coming up. It's going to end this weekend. And if you're interested in a poster, let me know. Thanks for watching.